Let's get this out of the way. This is totally a cheat device. There's no way around it. Let's check it out. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. We've reviewed a lot of really cool tech on this channel, and we've reviewed some kind of sketchy tech. This one slots somewhere between those two. What I'm talking about is the AX200 keyboard mouse adapter controller spoofer device. So this is the AX200 Pro by AX200. Now, they do have a product, the AX200, which has been out, and we actually reviewed it on this channel already. This is the upgraded Pro model of that device. Now, some of you might be wondering, what is this device? What is the use for this device? And do I really want it? And my hope is to educate you guys. Now, because this is a cheat device, we've already talked about it being a cheat device. I'm not going to show you how to set it up for cheating. I want to explore what it is, how it works, and what it does. But I don't really think that it would be a very good idea to show you guys how to cheat, how to set it up. I will show you the tools and all that, and then we'll kind of end there. Just want to make sure we all understand kind of what the scope of this video is. So let's start out with a quick unboxing, and then we'll talk about kind of the features and see what it's all about. Now, first off, the box itself is kind of a black and white and green color. It's a pretty nice package. Most of you guys are probably buying this online, so you're not going to really like see it in a store and be like, that's the one that I want. But it is nice to see it come in an actual storefront style boxing, rather than a lot of these products that just come in like a black and white box. They don't do a lot with the packaging. So this one is definitely packaged quite well, especially for like resale. And inside, I haven't seen this thing yet. So we've got a instruction card with a scannable QR code. We've got an instruction manual, which is multi-language. Okay, no English instruction manual on here. This could be because it's one of the pre-production models, so maybe it'll come with English, but I did look online and I have found the English instruction manual. You're probably not going to need it because most of what you need to know I'm going to tell you about in this video. Anyway, here is the device itself. This is actually very handy, a USB extension cord, and then that's it. Now let's look at this USB extension cord first, because this is a surprising inclusion. It is roughly 6 foot long, and it's USB-A to USB-A. And the reason that you would use this is very simply so that you can plug this guy in like that, and then plug this into your computer and have this sitting on your desk, rather than using it in like dongle mode where you got to plug it in and it's plugged in quite firmly into your computer. It's actually pretty high quality. The cable is like a braided cable, which it feels nice, and I'm going to keep this and add it to my cable collection because this is very, very handy to have for a number of situations. Now the device itself, it's all plastic, no surprise there. It feels solid-ish, so it doesn't feel cheap, but it doesn't feel premium. So if you've opened an Apple product, you know what a premium product feels like. If you've opened up some really, really sketchy products, you know, those feel like this feels somewhere in between those two. It feels like a solid product. Quick walkthrough of kind of what's on here. Obviously, this end is a USB port, and this is the end that you're going to plug into your computer. This is going to make all of the magic happen. Moving around to the side, you'll see 2 USB ports here. The one on the left, some people are a little bit confused what that is. It says EX with a Thunderbolt there. And what that is strictly as an extra power supply. So the reason you might need that is if you have a keyboard and a mouse that draw a lot of power, it may overload the USB hub on here and cause the device to either shut off or cause intermittent dropouts. If you're experiencing any of those issues, you would simply plug a USB-C cord into here. You can plug it into a power brick that you use for your cell phone charging, or into another USB port on the same computer to add extra power capability for the USB ports that we're using for the keyboard and the mouse. That's all that's for. If you don't have any problems, then you don't need to use that port. This port is for keyboard or mouse, and this port is for keyboard or mouse. It doesn't matter which one you plug in, it's just your personal preference. And that's really all there is to this device. There is a little button here, and that button will toggle between the different settings that you have available, which we will cover very shortly in the features section of this video. Before we get to the features, we should probably talk about what the purpose of this is. This is the part in the video where you guys quickly realize that its sole intention is really to enable cheats. There is a unique use case that I will present to you guys that is not cheating, but most of the people that are using this are looking for cheats. What this does is it simulates a wired USB controller being plugged into your computer. For example, this PlayStation 5 controller. If I were to take this PlayStation 5 controller and plug it into this laptop, it would say, you've plugged in a PlayStation 5 controller, and it would allow me to play controller on my computer games, my first-person shooter games, really any game that has controller support. Now, here's the thing. When you use a controller for your games, you unlock certain assistance, most notably aim assist. And the reason for that is using a thumbstick to do precise, fine aiming is a little bit harder to do than if you were using a keyboard and a mouse. And for that reason, aim assist was born. Aim assist is what sort of makes it more competitive so that a controller player can be competitive against a PC player who's using keyboard and mouse. There is no debate. Keyboard and mouse is the most accurate, precise way to play first-person shooters, and most of the serious gamers are using keyboard and mouse. In fact, if you're using a controller, they really don't think you're as serious as you probably think you are. Personally, I play with a controller on my PlayStation 5. I don't do a lot of PC gaming, and that's going to be very apparent if I do show you guys a demo of me trying to actually use keyboard and mouse. So keep that in mind as we talk about this. I am not a keyboard and mouse player. I just play with a controller because I'm more casual than anything. There are a lot of serious players out there, and the serious players are using keyboard and mouse, probably not controller. But if we plug this in, it says we are using a controller. But you'll notice there's no buttons on here. There's no way to control anything. And that's because this acts strictly as a hub of sorts. So even though the computer thinks it's a controller, we need to still have an input.
GamsGo. Are you paying too much for Netflix, Spotify, Disney+, Crunchyroll, Duolingo, Canva, or Adobe? GamsGo has you covered with premium shared subscriptions for a fraction of the price directly from the distributor. Yes, GamsGo is the shared premium experience that you've been looking for that saves a ton of money. I personally use GamsGo for my Netflix, my Spotify, my Disney+, and my Crunchyroll subscriptions, and I have saved tons of money by switching to GamsGo. Switching to GamsGo is as easy as clicking the link in the description or up in the title card, which will take you to the main GamsGo website. Select the services that you're looking for and buy them. But to show you how easy it is, we're gonna take 30 seconds and we're gonna sign up for Netflix. So we've clicked the affiliate link and I'm gonna click purchase now on Netflix. Now we have an option to buy 3 months or 6 months. I'm gonna buy a 6-month membership. I'm gonna say activate auto renewal because you don't wanna miss out anyway. Now in my case, I only need one profile. That means that I get one of the 5 included shared profiles with my Netflix account, and I can install it on one device in my home. Do you have multiple devices in your home? You might want to switch to the 5 profiles option, which also unlocks multiple devices so that you can use all of your profiles across multiple devices. But in my case, one profile is plenty. Now, this is the most important step. It's gonna say, do you have a promo code? Yes, I do. And the promo code is GEARS. We're gonna apply our promo code and it's gonna say, this is a valid promo code. We're gonna click to go to payment, and then we're gonna enter in all of our details. This is a one-time payment of just $21.26. That is crazy cheap for premium Netflix on one device with one profile. I'm going to pay now. I'm gonna enter my credit card information, and that's it. Once you've paid, you get immediate access to Netflix, and it's as simple as logging into your GamsGo account, getting the username and passkey, and then going to legit Netflix. Now it's gonna immediately say, well, who is this? Now I am account number 3, Gears and Tech, and it's gonna ask for my PIN code because I locked this down. Once I have my PIN code in, now instantly I am in the full premium Netflix experience. This gives me HD Netflix, I can download it, and it's that simple. And it works the same on all your other favorite streaming platforms. This is truly an amazing deal. You don't want to miss it. Click the link down below to grab your deal.
So obviously the natural choice is to grab a mouse, and you would simply go like this and plug your mouse into here. Now I have at least one input, which would simulate the right analog stick on my controller, but I still need something for my left analog stick and a lot of those buttons. And that's where something like this comes along. Now you don't have to use exactly this, but this might be pretty cool. So this is also a one-handed keyboard. It is available from AX200 as well. We're gonna have a quick look at that. There's already a little thing that looks like a keycap tool. Let me take this guy off, and that is exactly what this is. So this is exactly what you think it is. It's a one-handed keyboard. Now we can plug this into the side port on here. And then what this guy has, this is actually really neat. It's got mechanical keys, which you can hear are very loud. They feel really good to the touch. They have the WASD keys with an extra special little grip on there so that just while you're feeling around, you can feel how those feel. You have a ton of other keys. There's a simulated space bar there. You've got some programmable macros, some more programmable macros, and pretty much all of the keys that you would expect while you're one-handed gaming. And this is your full setup. We've got keyboard and mouse going through a device like this, which simulates a controller. Now, why exactly would anybody want this? You can plug, especially, this is for a PC. It's made to use on your PC. So you can already plug this one-handed controller straight into the USB on the computer and it'll work. You don't need a hub like this. You can plug your Alienware super cheap mouse like I've got here directly into the PC and it also works. And here is where this device shines, because this says that it's a controller. All of those extra supports and assistance that you were granted as a controller player is also offered to the now keyboard and mouse player through this device. That means when we plug this in, the game will think that we're using a controller, so it will allow us to use aim assist. And that's the big thing. Now I've got the precision of a mouse, aim assist of the controller. It's really kind of cheating. That's what it is. It's cheating. Now I did tell you guys that I would tell you about an actual legit use case. And this is it, okay? So two scenarios come to mind. Number one, if you have a game that does not give you keyboard or mouse support and it only does controllers, so you can use something like this to get you using the keyboard and mouse that you wanted to use all along without being forced to use a controller. Now again, that's kind of a little bit gray area, but there's also a large part of the community who use specialty peripherals because they have some sort of physical ailment that prevents them from using a controller or prevents them from using a standard keyboard and mouse. So this will allow you to plug in your customized keyboard, your customized mouse that is made specifically for those of you who still want to game. You want to enjoy everything that you can with your gaming experience, but for whatever reason, your peripheral is blocked. This would unblock it as it would simulate that you're just using a regular controller. Now, if aim assist was not enough, this also offers a number of other features, ones that I'm not going to demonstrate today, but I will tell you about them real quick. The two main ones would be turnaround assist and what they call snap tap. So turnaround assist actually makes it so when you're going one direction, if you need to turn 180 degrees because someone's blasting you from behind, there is a key combination that you can lock in, push one button, boom, you're facing the other way, and you're right in that gunfight with the minimalist amount of effort required. The snap tap actually takes advantage of button combinations that can allow you to stop traveling the direction that you're going and immediately go a different direction. And they just allow it so that you can actually hit those combinations much, much faster. So you essentially stop on a dime and then switch the direction that you're traveling. These are features that there's not a lot of detail about those right now because this is such a new product. There's really not a lot of information available. Something else they do is dead zone compensation. So controllers have a certain amount of dead zone, and what that would look like on your mouse, if you move it just a little bit, it won't move. So it makes precise control a lot harder. So you can compensate for that dead zone range and make it so that your mouse is really zeroed in and working really, really well. Now, the way that they do all that is through the use of an app, which we're going to boot up and just have a quick look through right now. Now, the app that they use is called Geekvice. There is a link in here which you can download it. You can also get it from the Play Store, but depending on the app version, it might not support the newest product, so you might need to download it directly from the AX200 folks. That's where this one came to. Now, currently I have no devices on here. This is currently powered on, and it's just sitting there doing nothing. So I'm going to say add device, and it should find my AX200. There it is. It found an AX200 Pro, and I can now choose the console type. Now, this supports PC and Nintendo Switch. I have a suspicion it actually supports other devices using a P5 Mate, which I'll test in a different video because you might not need it right now. But out of the box, it supports Switch or PC. I'm going to say that we're using PC. So now we're going to connect to it. And there we are, connected in PC mode. Now, all of your options are going to be toggled mostly through here, but you do have this button here. So right now it is in controller mode. So it is simulating a controller on that PC behind me. If I tap the M button, it will switch to keyboard mode. And what that is, it unlocks any keybinds that you have for certain macros and stuff like that so that you can have direct typing. So this is especially handy if you need to like type your name, type a message to somebody, do some sort of typing input, but you also binded certain macros to specific keys so that when you push it, it pushes like 20 other buttons. It makes it very hard to type. So you put it into keyboard pass-through mode. I can toggle back to game mode, toggle back to PC pass-through mode, and it works beautifully. This is also handy for those of you who are using your keyboard and mouse hooked up like this, and it's on a computer that you actually need to do productivity work. So for example, my computer over here is my editing computer. I use it to edit videos, proofread videos, make thumbnails, all that stuff. So I need full control of keyboard and mouse without all these macros bound to it. So I just simply flip it over to hub mode, no problem. Push it again, I'm instantly into gaming mode, and I'm ready to do all of my fancy cheats. That's the part I want to look at on the app. Now there's preset configuration options you can do here, or you can do your own custom options. Now, quite simply, you've got sensitivity for your mouse, you've got smoothness, you've got simulation and emulation. You can do ADS, so if you're right triggering to ADS down, then you can tell it it's ADS hold, ADS lock. You've got rocker, so you can set what happens when you're using the rocker. And you also have all of your keybinds. So these are any of the buttons on the keyboard you can bind to very specific functions on the controller. And you can add multiple button combination clicks on that controller. So it fully maps. Now this is currently mapping to an Xbox 360. So it tells you with the default mapping, here's the buttons to push for the different buttons on the controller. So it's quite simple in that respect. Now I've got smart keys where I can set macros. It says there's no macros set, but I can tell it to do hip fires, multi-fire, rapid fire, quick taps, all of that stuff. And then you've got smart rocker where you can bind special functions to the rocker. So there's a ton of different options on here. Now, a couple other things that you might not have known about this. This supports a polling rate of up to 1000 Hertz. So if you have a high resolution gaming mouse, this will pass through all of that through to the system and give you the most precise control. That is set in the app in the settings, and you can see polling rate 1000, 500, 250, 125. You're mostly going to want it on 1000. Ideally, you would match the mouse capability to the polling rate of the device itself or higher. You also have the ability to upgrade the device from the app. So if there are any updates, it will tell you in the app, and then you simply hit upgrade. Right now, this is actually telling me that I am currently running 2109. So there's been a lot of revisions since this was shipped, which we can just one tap upgrade, and then that's going to update the device that simply. You just need to make sure it stays powered on while it is downloading and upgrading the device. I'm going to leave that doing that while I close off this video. Because this is kind of one of those fringe devices that certainly can enable cheating, I'm not going to go into an actual tech demo of it in action. I do not have any actual experience using this in a game at this point. So I can't provide my feedback on how this device actually works. What I can say is I have used other devices just like this, and I've used the AX200 non-Pro, which we reviewed in a different video, and it works exactly as advertised. It spoofs that it's a controller. It makes the system think you got a controller, but you've got keyboard and mouse, and you've got full keyboard and mouse controls through this one little device. It's especially handy, and this is where that unique use case comes in for you Nintendo Switch owners who want to use keyboard and mouse on like The Legend of Zelda. Nobody should care if you're using a keyboard and mouse on The Legend of Zelda. You can just plug this in, put it in NS mode, and boom, all of a sudden you're using a form factor that you're comfortable and familiar with. Especially if you're playing in docked mode, you can hook your Switch up to something like this, which is the AverMedia Extra Go dock, which has the HDMI output and onboard recording for easy sharing to your social medias and your YouTube channels, Twitch streams, whatever. And all of a sudden you've got a full Switch keyboard mouse setup with monitor. It's almost like playing your Nintendo Switch in a PC environment when you're not in a PC environment. So it's an amazing product for you Switch owners, but also has a lot of benefits for you PC players who want that little extra advantage. Now, if this is something that interests you, I will put links in the description where you can grab the AX200 Pro, or you can even grab the one-handed keyboard. I was actually most excited about this one-handed keyboard because I may end up using that for my video editing keyboard, just so that I've got all of the buttons without taking all of the space on my desktop. So there you have it, full breakdown and review. If there's something I missed, something you want to know, let me know, because I will certainly share that with you, and I can share future videos with my experience so far.
Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech.